Hello and welcome to a very special program, Vaccinate India, in partnership with Google. Now, this program lies at the heart of what our partners Google and what we here at NDTV want to share: the critical need to ensure that millions across India vaccinate. Protect yourself, protect your families, protect your friends. Now, in the course of this program, we'll be sharing basic information with you and look for answers to key questions that actually go beyond the headlines. So lots of new things on this program. For example, how will India vaccinate all adults by the end of December? How exactly is that going to take place? Will single-dose vaccines come to India's rescue? And will there be a third wave in India? Because information on that is changing all the time. But at the heart of this effort is the effort to keep you informed. And that's what we've been working hard with Google to try and ensure. For example, on Google, basic information about India is very easily available. So to give you an idea of vaccine statistics, vaccinations by location, the location in this case is the world: India, China, United States, Brazil. There have been 226 crore doses which have been given all around the world. 48 crore people around the world, or just 6.2% of those who need to be fully vaccinated, have been vaccinated. But this is where India really needs to start catching up. India has fully vaccinated just 3.4% of our population. So doses given 24.4 crores, but these are 1 and 2 doses, right? Not all complete doses. But those who have been fully vaccinated, 4.63 crore, that's just 3.4% of where we need to be. Now, if you compare that with other countries, China, 86.4 crore doses given, statistics missing as is often the case. United States, it's much smaller in population than ours, but they've got more doses in, 30.7 crores, and that represents a whopping 43.3% of their population which has been fully vaccinated. Now, this is absolutely key, because wouldn't we here in India also want to be in a situation where we don't have to wear masks, because people in the United States are clear now, in most cases, not all, that they don't need to be wearing masks, and they've been able to do that by getting to about 40%. It's at 43.3% now, and India really needs to get there very fast. So that's some basic information that you actually have. Some more detail which we can share, Google has it all, is this wonderful set of data looking at the vaccination curve. Now, when it started out, obviously it was low, but then it started picking up, and the problem in a sense was in between, after April. By the 10th of May, partly as a result of vaccine availability going down, this wasn't actually skyrocketing upwards as it should. Now, it started going up substantially now. By the 4th of June, we were approaching that 15 crore mark, and now towards the end, the 11th of June, we are close to that 20 crore mark. Now, it needs to be much more on this, as I will explain, but there's more detail and data that we also want to share with you. Vaccination centers around me, you just need to type this out. So if you want to know where to head, just type vaccination centers near me. Google Maps opens up, as you can see, and it's got a location of all of these various areas where you can be vaccinated. So you just pick on whichever area is close to you, and for example, just randomly, let me just go across to this wellness center. It's a CGH, Central Government Health Scheme Wellness Center in Andrewsganj. Let me click on that. It brings up the exact location over here, so you know where it is. You could actually use directions. If I was to click over here, I'd actually get directions to get there if I wanted. But before I actually show you that, this is what it actually says. It says it's closed today. It has the exact address. So let's pick another day, and let's look at Monday. And Monday is certainly a day that you can go. So if you look at popular times, and again pick Monday, these are the times when you see a large number of people over there. So this actually tells you the time when more people are assembling, and I think that's just really useful information. And there are photos here. If you want to click, you can do that as well, and of course there is directions as well. So this gives you a my location to this place. I can just click on that over there, and it gives me the directions. If I can leave now, I can leave now, and it will show me the exact route as well. It will take me about 18 minutes to get there, or 4 minutes by car. The NDTV office not too far from this particular location. So this is the route that we'll be following over here. It has it all, and I can reach there quite soon. But let's give you a few more details on a lot of what this program is going to be looking at. Vaccination shots given. Again, this is where we are presently on the 12th of June. This is the number of vaccination shots which have been given. This is off the NDTV site. We get this information, this data from the government, the health ministry site. So this bar is actually gives you an average of where we are heading. It sort of takes into account various peaks and keeps going down as well. So this is where we are presently, and this is our 7-day average. 30,14,775 doses is the 7-day average which we have at this juncture. But this is what we really wanted to focus on to a large extent on this program. When we say that India needs to pick up the pace of vaccination, there's a really good reason for it, and this explains it. Now, what is the target in India? The target in India is for 2 people to have 108 crore doses, right? So 108 crore people is the target group. They must all have 2 doses. By when? By the end of the year. This is what the government wants. Now, at the moment, 190.7, right? 191 crore people doses are left for people to have 2 full doses, and that's the target. Why do we say this? Because it's so very important for individuals to get 2 doses. If you don't get 2 doses, you don't get that efficacy that you want. So we still have 190.7 to get there for people to get their 2 doses. Doses given so far, just 25.3. The current average has gone up, so it is now at 31.25. But what exactly is required to meet the year-end target? 94.87 lakh doses every single day. So we are at 31.25, right? And this is the 7-day average. It's 31.25 lakhs a day on an average over the last 7 days. And we need to get to 94.87 lakh doses every day. So what's the time? Because that's the bottom line. This is the fight against time. What's the time that it's going to take for us to get there at the present rate, right? The time it will take to vaccinate all adults at the current average rate, which as I mentioned to you is about 31.25 lakhs a day, a whopping 20 months. Now that's something we really need to work on, and that's what the government is trying to do, get more vaccines in, get more people vaccinated. The days left in 2021, 6 months and 17 days. Now we have a target end of December. In 6 months and 17 days, we need to get to this number of 190.7 crores. To do that, we need to vaccinate at 94.87 lakh doses a day, up from 31.25 lakh a day. So that really is the key issue over here that we are looking at. Now this is interesting. How are we going to do that? We're going to actually do that with the vaccines which are available. We're going to have this on the screen for a moment because I want to talk a little bit about this. This is very, very interesting. Between August 21st and the 21st of December, Covishield, the expected number of vaccines available, doses, 50 crores. So that is huge. And this is so important because while there have been problems about the number of vaccines available, that's now sharply gone up. So 50 crore doses will be available from August to December. And so that will help as the numbers go up, more people will be vaccinated. Covaxin as well, the numbers 38.6. Remember, Covaxin is also being made available by different manufacturers. But this is where it gets really, really interesting. In these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vaccines which are expected to come, there are 2 of these vaccines, right, which are still in the trial phase, BioE and Zydus Cadila. These have immense promise. India is relying very heavily on biological E subunit vaccine. 30 crore doses are expected to actually come of that. So that is a very, very large number indeed. And it's only if we get that will we meet that target. And that target is still a bit short of where we need to go. Well, joining us now to look at all of these key issues, Dr. Subramanian Swaminathan, Dr. Sudarshan Ballal, Dr. Rijo John, and Dr. Ashok Seth. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. Firstly, a basic question, since the messaging on this program is to encourage people to be out there. Dr. Swaminathan, how effective are the vaccines so far in 1 dose and in 2 doses in protecting people?
The problem is that the data that we have is always a little behind time. And with variants coming up so fast, it's going to be very difficult to stay on par with the latest developments. So problem was when the Oxford vaccine data came out that after 1 dose, there is significant protection. They were basically basing it on the original variant and the alpha variant, which is the Kent variant. Unfortunately, that data does not hold true for the Delta variant, which we now know requires 2 doses of the vaccine. And again, how well the other vaccines perform against the Delta variant, we still need more data. So this is going to be a sticky area. So what it basically tells us is this: the faster we get both jabs into the people, the better it's going to be in terms of protection. And relying on just 1 dose and then waiting it out is probably not a very safe option in the long run. Obviously, we have to look at a lot of different metrics when we make that kind of a call. And right now, since the wave is practically done, we have some breathing space. And like you beautifully pointed out, we need to maximize our effort to make sure that we finish it before the end of the year. And we have to look at a situation where we get both doses in before the end of the year.
Dr. Seth, is there a case for the government to reduce the gap between doses with more vaccines progressively being available?
You're absolutely right, and has just been mentioned. This is something which the experts are advising the government, and the government is again reviewing it. As the number of vaccines get more available, certainly looking at the data from the Delta variant, and we've recently also heard that AIMS tested Covaxin out and found 2.7% lower antibody response in patients with Covaxin against the Delta variant. It's a matter of concern, and I think it's very clear that the full dose of vaccine, which means 2 doses, is what is going to offer even lesser protection against the Delta variant. And let's not forget, it's not just the Delta variant we're talking about. The longer we delay every aspect, the more variants that are going to come on the way. And the third wave we talk about may not necessarily be the children that we're talking about. Maybe another variant comes up.
Right.
It may not be as high as the previous one, or it could be even higher. And we don't know that. And that is why it is absolutely important that we have only a single weapon, which is vaccination. We accomplish and complete what we call total protection, which means 2 doses, as fast as possible in adults. I don't think we need to delay the 2nd dose any further.
Okay, I wanted to focus on our next look at this. Will single-dose vaccines come to India's rescue? Dr. Rijo John, how important is this? Because it just seems that getting to the numbers that we seek with 2 doses is going to be difficult. So if we have, it's almost a magic wand, a single dose, whether it's a shot or a nasal dose, will that actually help us get to our target group much faster?
Well, I mean, if you are able to have these kind of single dose vaccines which are as effective, then we have a chance to vaccinate everybody by the end of the year. But I believe that it's too early to really speculate on that, because we don't really have it in hand, right? And what we have are all vaccines, all of them needing 2 doses at least, two doses each. And let's be realistic. And given that these are the vaccines that we're having right now, it's going to be really, as you said, I mean, 90 lakh doses every single day. It's just not going to happen the way our current production lineup is. And we don't even really see that the production is going up to that rate, even including the imported vaccines out there that we're expecting. I really do not see any way we could be vaccinating everybody with 2 doses by the end of the year. But yeah, so to answer your question, if we are able to have these single dose vaccines, definitely. But I'm suspicious. I'm not sure how realistic that is.
Sure. Dr. Ballal, obviously safety comes to mind first of these vaccines. Covaxin and Covishield have proven themselves to be reliable for use, and the large number of people that we are vaccinating. There are a couple of other very important vaccines which are coming online right now, from Zydus Cadila, from Biological E. Then there is that single dose variant of Sputnik as well. How important is it that we don't rush up the process to ensure that we've got safety sorted out first?
Good evening, Shobh. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for presenting such fascinating data on the vaccination, which literally is at our fingertips now, thanks to Google. So I think there are two aspects to the vaccine. First and foremost of any vaccine is safety. If it is not safe, it should not be used and cannot be used. No questions on that. The second is the efficacy, the immunogenicity and the efficacy. And any new vaccine, it will take some time. Obviously, we may know about the safety earlier than the efficacy, but we do not have data on any of these vaccines to say they would be better or safer than the current ones. We should do with what we have, and there's no question in my mind. We should speed up the vaccination, make the process easier. It should be like an election process or a polio vaccine. You go to the people, not wait for the people to come to you, and make the process as simple as possible. Otherwise, there's no way we'll reach our target of 1 crore vaccines a day, which is an absolute necessity, because if you do not vaccinate these large number of people in a short period of time, there will be more mutants and these vaccines may be worthless.
All right, I need to take a short break now. I'll come back to all four of you in just the next few moments. Again, this program about the importance of vaccination, some of the key questions. Up next, a third wave. Is that something that is going to definitely happen? It's certainly a frightening thought. Why is vaccinating now so very important to ensure that that third wave doesn't happen at all? That's coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Vaccinate India in partnership with Google. We've just got enough time now to take a look at our third segment. Will there be a third wave in India? I think this is the question that most people are worried most about. Dr. Rijo John, let me come to you first. Is it inevitable?
Well, I don't want to speculate on whether we will have a third wave or not. I mean, I think pretty much everybody is expecting it, and I believe it will happen too. But Vishnu, I would say, rather than speculating on whether the third wave will come or not, our efforts should be to really ramp up the vaccination across the country. And I actually wanted to point out to you that while the statistics at the national average itself looks bad, if you actually look at these statistics across the states, there's some glaring, discrepancies in the way the vaccine uptake has happened across the states. For example, on the one hand, we have states like, Kerala or Gujarat and Delhi, which is close to 25% of their population, they are vaccinated with a single dose. But on the other hand, there are other states like, UP and Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, even Tamil Nadu, having vaccinated 10% or less than their population with a single dose. So these are the kind of things that could potentially create huge problems for these really low vaccinated states if and when a third wave hits the country. Sure. And there's also a lot of inequities in vaccination, access to the vaccination. So these are the sort of problems that the government should address immediately and be ready to face the third wave if and when that happens.
Dr. Ballal, at this stage it's so important, isn't it, to ensure that we are all protected, and by which I mean we are now getting into this unlockdown phase, certainly in Delhi, for example, other places as well. And there is again that fear that there would be complacency, people are tired. And therefore, how important is it now to immediately ensure that, people are warned that they cannot take their masks off, that more vaccination goes on, that social distancing is maintained. We cannot let go of our guard in order to protect people.
Absolutely right, Vishnu. I think the question should be, will there be a third wave? The question is, when will the third wave come and how do we mitigate it? And if we don't learn from history, we are bound to repeat what happened earlier. We completely lost our war against COVID in the second wave by letting our guard down too early and being complacent. Now, as we slowly open up the country after the devastating second wave, I think the first thing to do is COVID appropriate behavior has to be mandated. There are only two things that can save this country at this present juncture: COVID appropriate behavior and mass vaccination of the people who have not yet been vaccinated. both doses at the shortest period of time. That is our guarantee to mitigate the third wave, and we should do it today.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, very much for being with us. We are completely out of time. Vaccinate India in partnership with Google is a program which we're going to keep focusing on some of the key issues which are there in front of us, with the singular goal, the bigger focus always in mind, the need to vaccinate. If you don't vaccinate, you're putting yourself at risk and your loved ones at risk as well. We're out of time from all of us here. Goodbye.